First contact and invasion. The terraforming domes of New Eden shimmered under the alien sun of Proxima Centauri b, humanity's first extrasolar colony. Captain Maya Santos stood at the edge of the settlement, watching workers tend the experimental crop fields that stretched toward the horizon. 5 years of backbreaking work had transformed this once barren planet into humanity's foothold among the stars. "Captain, we've detected something unusual." Lieutenant Chen's voice crackled through her comm unit. "Multiple objects decelerating from near light speed at the edge of our system." Maya frowned. "Natural phenomena?" "Negative. The deceleration patterns suggest intelligent control. These are ships, Captain, big ones." A cold knot formed in Maya's stomach. In the 30 years since humans had developed the modified Alcubierre drive that made interstellar travel possible, they had found no evidence of intelligent alien life until now. "Sound General Alert Level 2. I don't want panic, but I want everyone ready," she ordered. Within hours, the colony's long-range telescopes confirmed what Chen had reported. 3 massive vessels, each nearly a kilometer long, were approaching Proxima Centauri b. Their sleek obsidian hulls absorbed rather than reflected light, making them appear as moving voids against the star field. "They're broadcasting something," communications specialist Eliza Wright reported from her station in the colony's command center. "Audio-visual transmission aimed directly at us." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a being unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Its body resembled polished bronze metal, with 6 limbs arranged around a cylindrical torso. Multiple sensory organs clustered at the top of its body, surrounding what appeared to be a speaking apparatus. "Humans of Proxima Centauri," the translation, computer rendered its clicks and whistles. "I am High Commander Zarix of the Krell Imperium. Your presence has been noted." Maya stepped forward. "This is Captain Maya Santos of the Earth colony New Eden. We come in peace and welcome peaceful contact." The aliens' sensory clusters contracted. "Your species is primitive yet ambitious. You occupy valuable territory. We are willing to discuss any concerns about our presence here," Maya replied cautiously. "Discussion is unnecessary. Proxima Centauri has been designated for Krell expansion. Your unauthorized settlement will be removed." Before Maya could respond, alarms blared throughout the command center. "Energy spikes from all 3 vessels," yelled Defense Officer Jackson. "They're charging weapons." "Shields up," Maya ordered, knowing their modest defensive systems were never designed to withstand an attack of this magnitude. The first salvo struck the colony's power plant. The next targeted the communication array. Within minutes, New Eden's defenses were crippled. Bright beams sliced through buildings and infrastructure, igniting fires and causing catastrophic damage. "Evacuate everyone to the emergency shelters," Maya shouted over the chaos. "Wright, try to get a distress signal to Earth." Wright's fingers flew across her console. "Long-range communications are down. Best I can do is load a message into one of our automated survey probes and hope it reaches the relay station at Alpha Centauri." "Do it," Maya commanded. "Tell Earth what happened here." As the attack continued, Maya watched through the command center's cracked viewports as the colony she had helped build burned. This wasn't first contact. This was extermination. 3 days later, High Commander Zarix surveyed the ruins of New Eden from the bridge of his flagship. Smoke still rose from the shattered domes and collapsed structures. "The human resistance has been neutralized," reported his second-in-command, Subcommander Vec. "We control their settlement and have destroyed all major defensive and communication capabilities." "And the humans themselves?" Zarix inquired. "Many died in our initial attack. We've captured several hundred, but sensors indicate others have fled into the wilderness beyond the settlement." Zarix made a dismissive gesture with his upper limbs. "They are fragile creatures. Without their technology, they will not survive long in this partially terraformed environment. Begin construction of our first outpost immediately." But deep in the caves of the northern highlands, the humans were far from defeated. Maya had led nearly 400 survivors to the network of natural caverns discovered during early exploration. The caves, warmed by geothermal activity, provided shelter from both the Krell and the planet's harsh environment. We lost Jenkins and Yamoto this morning, Dr. Sonia Patel reported grimly. That brings our total casualties to 137 since the attack. Maya nodded solemnly. Every loss cut deep in their small community. Medical supplies? Running low. The antibiotics will be gone in a week. Ration them carefully, Maya instructed. Priority to the children and those with infections that could spread. Maya moved deeper into the cave where Lieutenant Chen had established a makeshift command post. Maps of the surrounding area were projected onto the rough stone wall, marked with Krell patrol routes and resource locations. They're establishing a permanent presence. Chen pointed to a clearing where the aliens had begun constructing structures. Using materials salvaged from our colony, Jackson joined them, his face grim. They outgun us 1,000 to 1. What's our play, Captain? Maya studied the map. We don't fight them head-on. That's suicide. We fight like our ancestors did when facing technologically superior enemies. Guerrilla warfare. With what weapons? Jackson asked. We managed to salvage a few pulse rifles and sidearms, but nothing that can take on their armor. Maya's eyes hardened. Then we make weapons. Chen, what's the status of the mining outpost in Sector 7? Abandoned during the evacuation, but relatively intact. The Krell don't seem to have discovered it yet. Good. It has industrial fabricators and raw materials. Jackson, take a team there tonight. If we can't outgun them, we'll have to outsmart them. As night fell on New Eden, Maya gathered the survivors. Faces looked back at her, dirty, scared, but determined. The Krell think we're beaten, she told them. They expect us to die quietly or surrender. They don't understand humans. Throughout our history, we faced impossible odds and survived. We adapted, we evolved, we overcame. She pointed to the cave entrance, beyond which the Krell ships glowed against the night sky. They thought we would fall easily. They were wrong. Every day we survive, we get stronger. Every patrol we observe teaches us more about their patterns and weaknesses. A child in the crowd spoke up. Will Earth send help? Maya met the girl's eyes honestly. If Wright's message made it to the relay station, Earth now knows what happened. But even at maximum speed, help would take years to reach us. Until then, we are on our own. Then we make them regret ever coming here, Chen said firmly. Maya nodded. Tomorrow we begin taking back our home. Over the next 2 weeks, the human resistance organized into specialized cells. Some focused on gathering food and supplies, others on medical care and shelter improvement. The most skilled formed strike teams that began targeting isolated Krell patrols. In the abandoned mining outpost, Jackson and his team worked day and night, repurposing mining equipment into weapons and traps. They discovered that certain local minerals, when processed correctly, could temporarily disrupt Krell sensor technology. It's not perfect, Jackson explained as they tested the mineral dust on a captured Krell scanner. But it gives us a 16-second window of invisibility, more than enough time to set traps or ambush a patrol. Maya watched as the scanner's readings flickered and failed. Mass produce it. Coat our weapons, our clothing, everything. The resistance struck for the first time 5 days later. A Krell supply convoy moving between the new outpost and their main landing site found the road blocked by fallen trees. When they stopped to clear the obstruction, hidden humans covered in mineral dust emerged from the underbrush and attacked. The engagement lasted less than 3 minutes. The humans withdrew, taking with them Krell weapons, medical supplies, and, most importantly, a data terminal containing valuable intelligence. They're bringing in a specialist, Chen reported after decoding the terminal's contents. Someone called a strategic overseer. Apparently our little raid has their leadership concerned. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Good. That means we've gotten their attention, but her satisfaction was short-lived. The next day, a new Krell vessel entered orbit, smaller than the others but clearly built for war. The strategic overseer had arrived, and with it, a new phase of the conflict was about to begin. Resistance and victory strategic overseer Zex was unlike any Krell that the humans had seen. Where the others had bronze-colored exoskeletons, Zex's was deep crimson, marked with elaborate patterns that signified high rank. 8 limbs instead, of 6 suggested genetic modifications for enhanced combat capabilities. This situation is unacceptable, Zex declared as he stepped from his shuttle onto New Eden's soil. A simple colony elimination has become an embarrassment to the Imperium. High Commander Xerix lowered his sensory clusters in deference. The humans employ unconventional tactics. They refuse direct confrontation where our superior technology would prevail. Excuses are meaningless, Zex dismissed. I am authorized to use any means necessary to eliminate this infestation. He gestured to containers being unloaded from his shuttle. These hold biomechanical hunter-seekers designed specifically to track humans by their unique thermal and chemical signatures. Let them hide in their caves. The hunters will find them. Meanwhile, in the Resistance's mountain base, Dr. Patel made a critical discovery. The Krell aren't as invulnerable as we thought, she announced, displaying scans of a fallen Krell soldier. Their exoskeletons are partly biological, with neural interfaces connecting to their internal organs. There's a vulnerability at the junction points, particularly here. She pointed to where the head connected to the torso. Maya studied the scans. Can we exploit this? Jackson stepped forward, holding a modified mining charge. We've adapted these to emit a focused electromagnetic pulse. If Dr. Patel is right, a direct hit to that junction could overload their neural interfaces. Test it on the next patrol, Maya ordered. That night, a Krell patrol vanished near the western ridge. When a second patrol investigated, they found their comrades immobilized, their neural systems fried by the humans' improvised EMP weapons. Zex was furious. Deploy the hunter-seekers immediately, he commanded. The first wave of biomechanical hunters was released at dawn, sleek insectoid machines that moved with unsettling grace through the forests and highlands. They followed human trails with relentless precision, forcing the Resistance to abandon several outposts in rapid succession. We can't keep running, Chen said as they regrouped deeper in the cave network. Sooner or later, they'll find our main base. Maya nodded grimly. Then we stop running. Time for a counterattack. The plan was audacious. Using the mineral dust to mask their approach, Jackson's team planted powerful explosives around the main Krell outpost, while Chen led a second team to capture one of their communication arrays. Ready on your mark, Captain. Jackson's voice came through Maya's comm unit as she watched from a nearby ridge. Execute, she ordered. The explosions ripped through the Krell outpost, destroying their ground-based sensors and defense systems. In the chaos that followed, Chen's team seized control of the communication array and broadcast a signal on the Krell emergency frequency, a signal designed to attract and disorient the hunter-seekers. The biomechanical hunters swarmed toward the outpost, their programming confused by the contradictory commands. When Krell soldiers emerged to investigate the explosions, the hunters attacked them, unable to distinguish friend from foe. It's working, Chen reported excitedly. But the victory was short-lived. Strategic Overseer Zex, observing from orbit, recognized the trap immediately. He deployed electromagnetic scramblers that disabled the hunter-seekers, then ordered a full bombardment of the surrounding area. They've targeted the ridge, Jackson shouted as energy beams cut through the sky. Maya felt the ground shake beneath her. Fall back to secondary positions, now. The Resistance scattered, barely escaping as the ridge collapsed. When they reconvened at their fallback position, the toll was clear. 23 dead, 37 wounded, and crucial equipment lost. That didn't go as planned, Maya admitted to her officers that night. No, agreed Chen. But we learned something important. The Krell are vulnerable, they can be rattled. Dr. Patel joined them, excitement in her tired eyes. And I've made another discovery. The hunter-seekers we captured, they're not just machines. They contain biological components, cultivated from native Proxima Centauri B organisms. Why would they do that? Jackson asked. Adaptation, Patel explained. Using local biology allows their tech to function optimally in this environment, but it also means they're susceptible to local pathogens. Maya leaned forward. Are you suggesting We can make the hunter-seekers sick. Better, Patel smiled. I've isolated a fungal strain from the northern caves that targets the specific cellular structure they're using. It won't just disable the hunters, it'll spread to any connected Krell technology using the same components. Hope kindled in Maya's heart. How quickly can you weaponize it? 3 days, maybe 4. You have 2, Maya said. As Patel worked, the Krell intensified their search. 2 smaller bases were discovered and destroyed. The resistance was forced to split into smaller groups, constantly moving to avoid detection. On the evening of the 2nd day, the worst happened. A hunter-seeker tracked a wounded colonist back to the main cave system. They found us, Chen reported as Krell ships appeared on their makeshift radar. ETA 8 minutes. Maya made an immediate decision. Evacuation protocol. Get everyone to the secondary caves. Dr. Patel, status on the fungal agent? It's ready, but I haven't had time to test it thoroughly. No time for testing now, Maya said. Deploy it. As the evacuation began, Maya led a small team to confront the approaching Krell forces. They carried with them containers of Dr. Patel's fungal agent, modified to disperse on impact. Remember, aim for their tech, especially anything that looks connected to their communication or sensor systems, she instructed. If Patel's right, the fungus will spread through their network. The Krell landed in force, over 100 soldiers, led by strategic overseer Zex himself. They advanced toward the caves with methodical precision, hunter-seekers scouting ahead. Hold position, Maya whispered to her team concealed among the rocks. Wait until they're in range. The first hunter-seekers passed their position, followed by the main Krell force. When Zex himself came into view, Maya gave the signal. Now, the TU. Humans emerged from hiding, firing their modified weapons. Capsules burst against Krell technology, releasing clouds of microscopic fungal spores. The first hunter-seekers began to malfunction almost immediately, their movements becoming erratic. It's working, someone shouted. Then everything went wrong. Zex, recognizing the threat, ordered an immediate energy barrage that forced the humans to scatter. Maya took a glancing hit to her leg and fell, watching helplessly as Krell soldiers closed in. But as they approached, something unexpected happened. The fungal infection, spreading faster than even Dr. Patel had predicted, began affecting the neural interfaces in the Krell exoskeletons. Soldiers stumbled, their movements uncoordinated. Some collapsed entirely as their neural systems shut down. Zex, witnessing his forces fall around him, activated his personal shield and retreated toward his shuttle. Maya, despite her injury, seized a fallen pulse rifle and took aim. This is for New Eden, she whispered, and fired. The pulse blast struck at precisely the right moment, as Zex passed between 2 infected hunter-seekers. The fungal spores had compromised his shield's integrity just enough for the blast to penetrate, hitting the vulnerable junction between his head and torso. The strategic overseer fell, his neural systems overloaded. What followed was chaos. Without Zex's leadership, the Krell attack faltered. The fungal infection spread through their connected systems, disabling weapons, vehicles, and eventually reaching their main ships in orbit. Within hours, their entire technological network was compromised. 3 days later, Maya stood with Chen and Jackson at the edge of what had once been New Eden's main plaza. Around them, the surviving colonists had begun clearing debris and planning reconstruction. The Krell ships are leaving orbit, Chen reported, checking his scanner. All 3 of them. Looks like they're setting course away from Proxima Centauri, running home to warn the others about the dangerous humans, Jackson suggested with a grim smile. Maya watched the distant specks disappear into the star-filled sky. They came expecting an easy conquest. They found something else entirely. Dawei, you think they'll be back? Chen asked. With more ships, different technology. Maya considered this. Maybe, but next time we'll be ready. She gestured to the colony around them. We'll rebuild stronger, and when Earth gets our message and sends reinforcements, we'll be prepared for whatever comes next. As the sun set on New Eden, Maya reflected on how their understanding of the Universe had changed forever. Humanity now knew it wasn't alone among the stars. There were dangers out there, empires and species with technologies far beyond Earth's current capabilities. But they also knew something else, something the Krell had learned at great cost. Humans would not fall easily. When pushed to the brink, humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology or weapons, but its resilience, adaptability, and unyielding determination. The Krell had thought conquering a human colony would be simple. They had been wrong, and the galaxy would soon learn just how dangerous that mistake had been.